3, 2, 1. It is the Rundown in 60 with Tyler Redmond and Javaris Harris on WCUG Cougar Radio. And this is our pilot episode, so I think it's a good time to introduce ourselves. First up, Javaris Harris.
What's going on? All right, I'm Javaris Harris. I'm a sophomore here at Columbus State University in Columbus, Georgia. I am originally from Jonesboro, Georgia. I came here to CSU. It was my first choice, and I wanted to make sure it was a good one. CSU was part of me since I stepped foot in the door, right, Tyler? You
Yes,
took me
sir.
in under your wing, and we just been going ever since then. Sports has always been a part of me, and I hope to make it a part of your daily lives as well. So let's make this journey lit, and let's get it.
So, going off of you, my name is Tyler Redmond, and just playing off of him for a second. I met Javaris at college orientation, so we've been here from the beginning of college, and we're both sophomores here, and
Yep.
I think it's, we when we first met each other, the first thing that we talked about was sports, college football,
Yep.
and what we thought was going to happen last season, and found out that Javaris is a Georgia fan.
Go dog.
I am an FSU fan. It's been a rough year for us over there in Tallahassee. However, we also talk baseball, golf, whatever sport is in the news, and it is the Rundown in 60 with Tyler Redmond and Javaris. Let's get started. So I know the biggest thing, in regular news right now concerning sports is Urban Meyer.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to turn it over to you and tell me what you think about that.
All right, so this Urban Meyer incident is, I don't even know how to. When I found out 3-game suspension, 3 games, 3 games. Come on now,
Mm-hmm.
that is such a slap on the wrist.
Mhm.
Like, no, absolutely not. My boy Todd Gurley was suspended 4 games for accepting more than $3,000.
So this is personal, is what you're
It's
telling me.
so personal, Tyler. Like, so personal.
Well, let me ask you, because I have a take on this, and I personally, you and me both don't like politics coming to
Right.
sports. We both, it's not our thing, but sometimes these kind of events happen, and you have to address it. And
Exactly.
people are gonna ask you what your take is. So here's mine. I'm gonna start with asking you a question. What are you punishing Urban Meyer for?
Because he lied.
Do you know that?
Okay, I see where we're going with
Do-
this.
do you know that?
I see where we're going with this.
So my question is, do you think he did it?
It's until
It's questionable.
until more facts and stuff, because I don't think the investigation is as complete as they say it is.
Mm-hmm.
I still need more evidence, because we're going off of media, basically.
Yeah.
And media, sometimes it can be true, sometimes it can be false.
It's biased.
Right. But still, the evidence that I've seen so far is kind of leading me to
It's-
believe it's true, because
Okay.
yeah. And then
Well-
also you had Zach Smith having multiple inappropriate packages arrive at the OSU football facility as well. So that's where I kind of lean toward, okay, this might be actually true, because they actually had the evidence to prove so.
Well, I don't have any care in the world as to where this goes, really.
Right.
But here's my opinion on it. Either he did it or he did not.
Yeah.
If he did it, he needs to be reprimanded to the fullest extent.
Exactly.
And that, comes with either losing his job or being out of a season.
Mhm.
Whatever that may be, that's what it needs to be.
Right.
But if you can't physically prove that Urban Meyer did what you are accusing him of, why are you punishing him? Do you
True.
agree with me there?
I do. And
So-
and let me tell you the funniest thing that I read so far. Urban Meyer really told his age with this. Why did this man have help deleting text messages between him and Zach Smith? This man had help deleting text messages.
Hey, man.
Hey man, I need
Come here. Come here for a
man.
second. Can you help me real quick? I need your help for a second. I'm an old man.
I need help. I need help deleting text messages. Like, really? Are you serious? Like, I couldn't believe it, man. It was awful.
Regardless, Ohio State's going to have a season this year. And
Right.
so you got him out for the first 3 games, and you can argue all day you want. I mean, all the time you want about whether or not he should have been out for 3 games or whether or not he should be out for more. But the fact of the matter is, as of right now, he is out for the game against Oregon State, Rutgers University, and TCU.
Right.
I want to ask you because you are my college football guru here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What do you think his challenges are going to be that week? And do you think the fan base,
Yeah.
the team, and the head coach can all focus on the game at hand?
Well, now that you have Urban Meyer out for the season, well, not for the season, but for the first 3 games, you got Oregon State. They're most likely Ohio State is most likely going to take that because you got to think it's all about home. You know how the home crowd is going to do, and with Ohio State fans, they're most likely going to push their team into victory. You know, if that crowd gets behind the team, they're going to win. So I have Ohio State beating Oregon State. I have Ohio State beating Rutgers, but TCU is going to be in Texas,
Mm-hmm.
and TCU is not a team to play with. We've seen how TCU is. Just because they're a Christian school or a Christian university, okay, they can cause very great damage to a team. So I look forward to seeing that one. Like I desperately cannot wait to see that
And,
matchup.
Urban Meyer is walking on cracked glass right now.
Oh yeah,
So it might not be a loss to TCU that could push the university over the edge. It could be a 3-point difference. It could be a anything. And you got to think, how does this attitude with Ohio State right now affect them later in the year? They got to face Michigan this year. They got to face Nebraska. I mean, how does this affect them even in a championship run, if that's even a possibility
Right.
at the moment?
Well, we know that Ohio State is most definitely a college football playoff contender,
Mhm.
as they are almost every other year. So I don't see them lacking of any sort. It's just how can a team react to not having their head coach on the sideline? It's gonna
Absolutely.
be an assistant interim coach. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be very different for them. But I don't see it, interrupting or possibly interfering with their chances of a college football playoff contention.
You also one other thing you got to think about now. You just said something that made me think of this. As a matter of fact, you got to think about recruiting next
Right.
year, the year after that, the year after that.
Right.
If your head coach is in a questionable position, what happens to you 5 years from now? What happens to you 2 years from now when you can't get recruits in because they're all going to Alabama, Georgia,
Right.
Auburn, FSU, anything like that?
Right.
All these recruits are going somewhere. They might even go to Tennessee before they go to you.
Right.
What do you do then?
It's-
Where does that put Urban Meyer then?
I'm gonna keep it straight up with you. God knows I have not thought about having kids and don't think about having kids in the near future.
I'm not
But
ready to be an uncle.
right. But I probably wouldn't want my child going to OSU.
I wouldn't.
I really wouldn't, because this is a very serious matter. We're not just talking, domestic violence, which I strongly condone. I don't accept that not one bit. But for you to lie to authorities as well, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I would not have my child in your care for no reason whatsoever. That's awful. Like,
Yeah.
absolutely not. So no, I would not have my child.
Well,
Absolutely.
It is certainly not going to help them in their career.
Right.
Even if they go, unless they have an undefeated season this year, something's not going to go right for them. And I have a feeling that it is going to be a downward spiral. I hope not. I hope the best for them. But I feel bad for them in this
Right.
moment. Let's switch gears here because I'm tired of being depressed. Let's go to your favorite team, University of Georgia,
Yep.
and let's talk about their schedule.
All right, so Georgia, we have honestly, I don't know how our schedule is. I mean, I know how it is, but it's just like we got like so many cupcake games before we actually play, top ranked opponents. And it's crazy. You're gonna hate that I'm telling you this right now, but I had Georgia losing to South Carolina, and then I had to realize
Where is the game played?
it's gonna be played at. It's gonna be played.
Is that at South Carolina?
Yeah, it's at South Carolina.
Okay, well, that's
But
gonna be...
but the thing is, we beat the brakes off of them last year, and
Yeah.
I had to remember that. I'm like, wait a minute, we beat them. So really, they're the only people that we should have a close chance of losing to. I have us possibly losing to Auburn. I have us
Okay,
possibly losing.
that's not, where is that game at?
It's gonna be. I think it's here because it switches every year.
Here is in
It's
Auburn.
No, in Athens.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yes, in
Uh,
Athens.
Okay, if it was in Auburn, I could see that.
Yeah, and then we also have LSU this year. And
But- hold on a second. We're
Yeah,
gonna get to that
because
but I'm gonna say
you
this.
know I'm finna go on a rant.
I know You mentioned cupcake games.
Yes.
And I'm looking at your schedule right now. I got a good eye on this. Your first game is against Austin P.
Yes.
Your second game is against South Carolina, which, is going to be a tough one. But then after that, you face Middle Tennessee, Missouri. But after that,
Tyler,
you face
the champions of life.
you face the champions of life. And you go from there and you face Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
And I don't see you having an issue with either one of those.
No.
But then, you go down
To Death Valley.
And you face the most Cajun man on the face of this planet, Mr. Ed Orgeron. Let's talk about him for a second. Before you go on your rant, let's talk educated for a second. Do you think Ed Orgeron has any chance of having a winning season?
Should I do it in his voice or just do it in mine?
You do whatever voice you see fit.
Well, first off, go Tigers. It's been a tough season.
Coach Orgeron.
Right.
Are you going to win this year?
Right. Absolutely. No.
You don't think so?
I don't think LSU
They're
has a chance
currently
against
ranked
25.
25th.
25.
When was the last time? 10 years ago.
That was when
5 years ago.
when Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham were, right?
4 years ago. Whenever. In the past, our entire lives almost.
Right.
When did you ever think you would see LSU not relevant? Tennessee not relevant? When did you think you'd ever see that? They're not relevant. And, I always go back to, Georgia fired Mark Richt.
Right.
I always pick on you about that because I like Mark Richt. And he's doing very good things in Miami right now. But aside from that, in the same year, Les Miles was let go. Georgia had a plan. Georgia got Kirby Smart. LSU went for the first person they could find. I don't blame Ed Orgeron. That's a line from my good buddy Josh Pate. I don't blame Ed Orgeron. He didn't put himself in that position. LSU put him in that position.
Right.
He took a job just like I would take the job.
Mhm.
But I don't see this going well at all. I looked at their schedule last night. I can't remember it, verbatim right now, but it's not going to be good. I know you wanted to go on a rant about that 3-week period, and then you got Florida, which that's a rivalry. So you tell me.
I don't even look at that as a rivalry anymore. That's just like another cupcake game for us. We love cupcake games.
I know you
We do.
But do you think there's too many cupcake games in this schedule?
Dude, because it makes our strength of schedule look so weak.
It is weak. You ain't got. It's weak.
Dude,
as of right now, it is weak.
And the crazy part about it is Georgia is actually in talks right now with other schools, for upcoming, game setup, series.
Yeah.
If we can get from what I've heard, we're gonna have Clemson in 2020. I want to say 2020.
Okay.
It was rumored. I want to say Oregon.
Okay.
Those are
they're
two.
looking at. They're looking at this year, and they're like, wow.
Right.
Okay,
if our strength of schedule moves up some, I can see us, getting somewhere. But the crazy part about it is our recruiting class has been top 10, top 3. You know what I'm saying?
It was either top 1, top 2,
right,
top 3.
But if you're going to put these, top class recruits up against teams like this, you're not really showing their full,
And you can't. My thing is, last year y'all came so close to winning a national championship, and you have to prepare for that.
Right.
Cupcake games do not prepare you for that.
Exactly.
Cupcake games make you think you're on top of the world. Then you get there and you're like, what the heck just happened?
Right. And then
you're facing Alabama.
Right.
Or you're facing Clemson. Or you're facing whoever
Yeah.
is in the national championship game with you who has played the FSUs of the world, the Georgias of the world, the whatever, the top dog.
Right.
They have faced them.
Right.
And they have beaten them. They have moved past that.
And check this out. So after Georgia faces Austin P, teams do that to get themselves on a on a high. I hate to use that word, but it's true. It's a high.
That needs to be one game.
Right.
One game.
Right, like a preseason game. Yeah, and basically that's what it is. It's just a small preseason game to see how you're gonna work with your teams, to get all your people in, see how they work around the offense and defense, special teams, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
And then you go to South Carolina.
Yeah.
It happens. We lose. And I hate it. I hate to say it, but I've seen it happen. I've seen with Troy and LSU.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
that
not
was
supposed.
bad.
That's not supposed to happen.
No, but it did.
It did, and then you had Georgia Southern and Florida.
You know what?
Like it's come on now.
You know what Alabama? Do you know what their first game looks like?
I'm scared to look at. I haven't really, dude. I have not been checking schedules like I was supposed
Their
to.
first game is against Louisville.
Yes, and honestly, that was that was another segment we had. That's would have been my game of the week.
Yeah.
But no, Michigan and Notre Dame is the game of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Why, dude? You have two of the top quarterbacks in college football right now, but you don't want to make that. Come on now. That would have been the featured game of the week, in my opinion.
I think Notre Dame doesn't get too much airtime anymore. Last year their biggest game was against Georgia, but that was their biggest game. I mean, really, in terms of coverage, coverage alone, it was their biggest game. It was the closest they ever got to really doing anything, and I feel like them facing Michigan's going to be a good game. It's going to be a close game. I don't think Alabama is going to have to worry about Louisville. I really don't. I think it'll be competitive. I think it'll be a fun game to watch. I think it'll keep you on the edge of your seat, all that good stuff. But I don't see them ever really being that much in trouble. I don't see them being, I don't see that, because even if you are, think about who you got running that show.
Yeah,
you know, it to me, the only time Alabama fans really get worried is when it's the national championship game and offense just hasn't done anything. But you know what he did when that happened? He brought in Tua. So you got to find Alabama's weakness, and I don't think Louisville is going to be able to do what a lot of people seem to think they're going to be able to do. But that's just me. You mentioned Auburn. Do you want to look at Auburn?
Yeah, let's take a look at Auburn. And honestly, I can't even lie. I hate Auburn to the core, but I'm very proud of how they're looking. They've come a long way.
Yeah.
Especially like losing the people they're losing.
When your job is on the line,
right,
every day of your life,
right,
you seem to want to do better at it.
Okay, let me stop.
You got a rant?
I take that back. I would not make Alabama, Louisville my feature game of the week. I would definitely pick Washington and Auburn.
You think so?
Yes, for sure. Washington is ranked over Auburn this year.
So that's the game you're going to be watching?
I will most definitely be watching that game.
On off of Georgia?
Well, I mean, we have Austin Peay. I'm going to watch the game regardless, but that game doesn't start at 3:30.
What do you think about Mississippi State this year?
Who?
Mississippi State.
Who?
Mississippi State.
Well,
who? You don't think they're established?
I never really,
You don't care?
Not really.
Okay. We'll move on then.
Yeah, but Auburn, their first 3 games are Washington, Alabama State, and LSU. I was really gonna go to the Alabama State game too, but
you're not interested.
The only reason I would go is because I love HBCU bands.
Yeah,
so I probably would go for Alabama State band.
All right.
Other than
that,
that's a beat down. That's a beat down.
Well, another team I want to talk about real quick, being a Florida State fan, is Texas A&M.
Yeah.
I've been picked on a lot. I mean, a lot since last year, because it seems to be that when you lose your quarterback, when your head coach, leaves town, you're just hopeless. Well, our quarterback's back. We got a new head coach, and apparently there's been some controversy at Texas A&M this week. Been reported on. I don't find it to be that big of a deal. It's one guy who seems to think he's been treated unfairly. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I don't think Jimbo's in any danger. Right. I think they're, singing his praises right now. And I'm not mad Jimbo left. I was never sold on Jimbo. He did bring me a national title, but I was never really sold on Jimbo. I am sold on Taggart.
Okay.
I like him a lot. I think he's trying to bring back a lot of the heritage.
Okay.
Of Florida State, and I think that does mean something to the fans. But for me, I'm ready to see what he's got to go on the field. I'm really anticipated for that. As far as Texas A&M goes, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want to see Jimbo go in there and just completely dominate. That's not what I want to see.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think there's going to be an immediate change on the football field. I think there will be an immediate change behind closed doors.
Mhm.
I think the coaching will be different. I think reality is going to set in. And I think he's also going to get as much funding and as much support as he may need out of the donors, the people that care.
Right.
Until then, and until I see a result on the field, I don't really care about Texas A&M. We got about 4 minutes until we got to go to break. Is there any last-minute thing in college football that you want to hit on?
No, but real quick, we can run into So my boy Kobe turned 40 yesterday, right?
Oh yeah.
So it's rumored that this man could be playing for the Big Three. You know the Big Three, the 3-on-3 basketball games that everybody's been talking about on FS1 and all that stuff. So for the people that don't know what the Big Three is, it's a league that was created by Ice Cube, and the league has legends like Chauncey Billups, Steven Jackson, Mike Bibby, Baron Davis, and Rasheed Wallace as players, and then you got Gary Payton, Rick Barry, Charles Oakley, and Dr. J as coaches. I don't know so much about it because you got to think Kobe's last game was just 2 years ago, and if Kobe go out there,
he's gonna lay the smack down.
Dude, it's not even gonna be fair. Like honestly,
it'd be like Michael Jordan 3 years after he retired.
Exactly. I don't think that would be. I don't know. Yeah, and then you gotta and honestly, 60 points in your last game. I know that they was kind of trying to let him get to 60, but at the same time, Buddy scored 60.
It don't matter. Kobe is Kobe.
Exactly.
And the knowledge is going to carry him
through. And he was saying on his Instagram yesterday, he was like, just because he turned 40 don't mean nothing.
Yeah, I agree.
And he was like, I can come out of retirement right now.
I know a lot of 40-year-olds.
That
are still athletic.
Dude,
Kobe.
Yes.
If I had to pick one right now, it'd probably be Kobe.
Exactly.
But I actually want to touch on something kind of similar. We were eating lunch today, and something popped up on the screen. I was like, man, I need to talk about that. I am never, and when I say never, I mean I am never interested in golf. Never.
Yeah.
My best friend played it in high school, went to the state championship, won, got the lowest score, all that good stuff. I was never into it. It's never been my thing. But there's one man that sparks my interest in golf. Do you know who that man is?
Tiger Woods.
It is.
All right.
But the other man.
Oh,
you know it.
You just told me his name. I know
Phil Mickelson.
Yep.
And they have decided. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know what it is for. But apparently, they're doing some kind of. I don't know if it's a charity event. I don't know what it is. But it's over $9 million on the line here for something. $9 million. Do you know what $9 million can do? That can pay my tuition. Anyway, they are going head to head, and they're playing a golf game, and that gives me an opportunity in this next minute and a half. It gives me an opportunity to talk about how good Tiger Woods has been doing this year.
Mm-hmm.
Tiger Woods, a year or two ago, was hopeless. He couldn't hit a ball more than like 300 yards or like 300 feet or something. It was something where it was like ridiculous for a pro. Like he was probably hitting a ball as far as I could hit a ball, which is again ridiculous.
Right.
Now he's competing. He almost won like 3 times in a row already, and it's a comeback story. It's a feel good story, and I don't know. I'm really kind of curious to see who wins that because Phil's getting older. Tiger's getting a little older, but not as much as Phil.
Right.
And Tiger, Tiger's coming back, and he's chasing that record and all that good stuff, and that's always interesting. But I'm really curious. That really sparked my interest, and to spark my interest in golf takes a lot. We're going to toss the break in the next few seconds, and we're going to let you enjoy some, I believe it's Phil Collins. I believe it is. And we will see you on the other side.
I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord, I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord, well, I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord, oh Lord. Well, I remember, don't worry. How could I ever forget? It's the first time, the last time we ever met. But I know the reason why you keep your silence up. No, you don't fool me. The hurt doesn't show, but the pain still grows. Some stranger to you and me. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord, well, I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord, I can feel it in the air tonight. Oh Lord, oh Lord, well, I've been waiting for this moment for all my life.
Tyler, that is a beautiful song.
I know it is.
Tyler, imagine
I should be a DJ.
coming out on a football, baseball, anything to that song. You have to go out there and score at least 70-some points on the team.
Well, you know what that means, right?
Right.
Do you know what that means?
What does it mean?
You know what I'm about to tell you? That means the second half of this show is going to be miles beyond what the first half of the show was. Are you ready?
Let's get it, man.
All right.
So
Go get into it.
check this out. So it was rumored that Dwayne Wade was offered a deal in China for 25 million smackaroonies.
As in, is
Yeah.
it yen over there? Or is it?
Well, yeah, it's yen over here, but I think it was probably the way they gave it, the way the storyline was read, it was
Dollar bills?
Yeah, dollar bills.
Okay.
But it was a meal. I mean, it was a deal by the G. John Golden Bulls.
I'm proud
team.
of you for
Thank you.
actually trying that.
I was no, that's actually correct.
Okay, I'm
yes,
sorry.
I am proud of
It's
myself.
better than what I would have done.
Right.
I'm very proud of you.
Yeah, so it's a team in the Chinese Basketball Association, and Wade also stated in recent conversations that he wanted to retire in Miami as well.
Yeah.
And so it was just like, I agree with D Wade. It's like why would you trade that up to a city that's pretty much giving you love since you've been drafted there, and that's the only team you basically play for. Because really, I don't even count the whole Cleveland thing as a big deal because it was only 1 year. So you pretty much gave all your love, your time, and all your
Well,
yeah. So
let's be honest here. He's got plenty of money.
yeah.
He doesn't need money.
And you have
Money's
a wife.
not gonna convince him.
You have a wife that's getting the same amount as you or more.
You don't. He doesn't have any reason to go play for money.
Right.
He plays because he loves it.
Right.
And I firmly believe that about D Wade. I always liked him growing up. I like him now.
Yeah,
I think
same.
he's a good player. I think he was a great player years ago, and I think he's slowing down.
Right.
I want to see him have a good send off, and I don't see him having the proper send off like
In
he would
China.
have in Miami.
Right,
That
in
he
China.
would have in China.
Right.
I don't see that.
So I want to ask you a quick question real quick because I know you want to get to your. Yeah,
I'm
this is
sitting
gonna
on it.
man. It's gonna be good. So real quick, would you give up 25 mil to stay in a city that traded you and then traded you back to the same city? Like that's like you coming from.
How long did I
Columbus.
play for that city?
So all right, let's just say Columbus Lions, for instance,
Okay.
the arena football team here. You played for them for 6 years. You're a hometown kid, and
Mhm.
then you got traded to Florida team.
Okay,
yeah,
a Florida team.
Yeah, like
How long was I traded for?
to what? To Florida
How long was I gone?
in the deal, or
Yeah,
just
In the deal. How long was I gone? When did I come back?
The same year.
Okay. Well, if I got traded and I come back same year, to me that's still home. I probably hadn't even moved my house yet.
True.
Do you agree? Probably haven't even moved my motivation yet.
Right.
So for me, that's my home. Not everything is nothing. Not everything is personal. I don't believe that was. It was probably a business deal.
True.
They wanted him right back. He came back. That says a lot about him because he didn't have to. He probably could have went somewhere else and got a little more money. Did he take $25 million less
When he got traded to
when
Cleveland?
he came back? Yeah. Or when did the $25 million come up?
That was for the Golden Bulls deal. That was in
Okay.
China.
Okay.
I was just throwing it
You
out
were
there.
just
Yeah.
theoretically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is WCUG Cougar Radio. This is the Rundown in 60 on 88.5 FM. Like I said earlier, this is our pilot episode, and this is sort of, the first half was sort of yours in
Yeah.
a way. This is more or less mine, and it's gonna, I hate to be that way, but when I get to talking about baseball, especially Braves baseball, I get a little attitude on me. And you're about to witness that probably for the first time.
I am scared.
You're scared?
I am scared.
Are you in danger?
I am, dude.
Okay.
I'm in danger.
Oh, jeez.
We
Okay.
gotta get that. We have to get.
You want that sound effect?
We have to get that sound effect.
We're going to get more fancy with this as time goes on. We're learning here, just like you guys are learning about us. We're learning about all the technology in here, learning about using this mic, for instance. We finally found the record button this morning. I thought that was a pretty good accomplishment.
Wow. We did.
That was a pretty big deal. But in the last 25 minutes of this, we're going to talk baseball for the most part. We might touch a little bit of Little League at the end of it, maybe hit a couple big, headlines if we need to towards the end of it. But let's get into basically this week in baseball, focusing in on the Braves. So on Monday, the Braves started their series with the Pirates, which they swept the Pirates, by the way, which after that rocky series with the Rockies, and yes, I did that, they needed it. They brought in a pitcher. Tell me what you think about this. Are you ready?
All right.
They brought in this pitcher named Bryce Wilson. Bryce with an S, not with a C. Okay. I've seen a lot of people spelling the S with a dollar bill sign. And when I get to telling you about why that is, you're going to be like, oh my God. It's no secret. Javaris isn't, the baseball man here.
Nah.
It's no secret, but he does enjoy it when I get, like I am.
Yeah.
So Bryce Wilson comes in. And to be honest with you, when I heard about this, I was like, oh, they're bringing somebody new in. I hope he doesn't, choke. You know what I mean?
Mm.
He pitched for 5 innings, which, typically pitchers go 7. But in those 5 innings, the Pirates did not score 1 run. He only gave up 3 hits, okay?
Mm-hmm.
He got 5 strikeouts. Do you know what ERA is in baseball?
Yes.
Okay. He has an ERA right now of 0.00. Okay?
Right.
That's like batting 1,000. Do you understand that?
Right.
His first game, his first debut as a starting pitcher, not reliever, a starting pitcher. He has a current ERA of 0. That's a big deal. I think that says a lot about what we have in the minors. Of course, they brought in Sam Freeman. He pitched for 1 inning. And to be honest with you, I never thought I'd see him in a Braves uniform again.
Really?
They put him on the DL. He was my least favorite reliever because when they brought him in, I was scared. I was scared for the Braves. I was scared for my sanity, and I was frankly, I was petrified, frankly.
Okay.
So he pitched for an inning. I think he gave up 1 hit. He didn't give up he didn't give up any runs. He didn't get any strikeouts. He kind of just made the ball go into play. He's got an ERA of 5.131. That kind of speaks to why I'm frustrated. But after that, Venters and Winkler finished off the game. Winkler got 2 strikeouts. They both pitched I believe they both pitched an inning. And batting that game, there was only 1 run for the Braves that day. Markakis recorded the 1 RBI that game. He knocked in Freddie Freeman to score. And Camargo actually had a 3-hit game, which I thought was a pretty big deal for that young third baseman in Johan Camargo. So moving on to Tuesday, that was first win of that season. Here's the second, and this is kind of where my ranting begins. That was a pretty easy one, So prepare for the worst. Let's just get into it. Tuesday, August 21st, 2018, Kevin Gossman, who to me is becoming one of the favorites in the Braves clubhouse in pitching. Uh, I just said that, it was a big deal that Bryce Wilson pitched 5 scoreless innings, in his debut. I just said that. Guess how many this guy pitched? There's 9 in a baseball game. How many do you think he pitched?
For time constraints, we're gonna go with 6.
He pitched 8.
Ooh.
8 scoreless innings.
Wow.
And with our bullpen right now, that's going to save a lot of arms. In the top of the 9th, the Braves allowed a new guy. I don't know the exact pronunciation. I believe it's Chad Sabatka. They brought him in for a little bit of mound time. They had a comfortable 6-0 lead, so why not, right? New guy, let him get his, kinks out. He made one mistake. He got 2 strikeouts, but that one mistake was a big one. He gave up a homer. But you know what? I don't have an issue here. He's new. He's maybe played in 5 games max. You started the inning with you're 6 runs ahead. If it goes too bad, bring in Sam Freeman. Which I just said I'd much rather a new guy try it. He gives the young kids that we've been talking about for 5 years an opportunity and experience. He makes 1 mistake, but he also gets 2 strikeouts. And I thought it was a decent performance. Dansby Swanson is the one batter I want to highlight in that game. Braves got 6 runs. This is kind of where it happened. Dansby shut up all his critics that he gained the few games before that. He had 2 very big swings. He got his first multi-homer game the other night, and if you know Dansby Swanson, that's a big deal for Braves country. He obviously wants to stay here, wants to have a long career, and I think that says a lot about him.
Right.
His first homer was in the top of the 5th, where he knocked in 2 runs for the Braves. Okay, he turned on a 91-mile-an-hour fastball and drilled it into left field. That's it was a shot.
You know the feet of that one?
I don't. I wish I did. I didn't check that. The second one later in the game, basically showed Swanson had Pittsburgh's number on that particular evening. Mind you, I said the second one. That's the second homer,
Right.
not the second hit, not the second strikeout. The second
home
homer.
run.
Okay.
Right.
He took an 83-mile-an-hour curveball straight to left center field to put 12 home runs on the season for Dansby, and helped the Braves take the 6-1 win. Again, pretty easy.
Right.
We're getting there. So Wednesday, as I crinkle my paper.
That's like your 3rd sheet.
It's my 3rd sheet. I took notes, okay? I've been ready for this.
That's like your 3rd sheet, man. Come on.
All right. August 22nd, 2018, Wednesday. Julio Teheran, who, if you haven't been watching the game, Julio Teheran basically is just not very good at home. At home, he just does not pitch well. Braves.com, which this game is at home, by the way. Braves.com called Julio's game a gem, in which I would agree. He has not had too many of those historically at SunTrust Park, but that's exactly what it was. If you are a Braves fan, this is exactly what you want to see out of Julio. Through 7 innings, he gave up 1 run on 2 hits. I can't be mad at that. They brought in Brock and Venters, both pitching an inning and recording a strikeout. Credit to Johnny Venters for the save, and I want to talk about Johnny Venters for a second. Johnny Venters in 2011, mind you, August 22nd, 2011, literally like 7 years to the day before this, got his last save in a Braves uniform. Okay? 7 years later, that's his save. That's his next save in a Braves uniform. Okay?
Okay.
To the day. Last and first. To the day. 7 years. Okay? If you ever need a pick-me-up story, if you ever need a motivational story to tell somebody, you tell them to look up Johnny Venters. Okay? Do you remember me telling you about the guy that had 3.5 Tommy John surgeries that played for the Braves?
Yeah.
That is Johnny Venters. He's been through it all. He probably doesn't have any more ligaments. He probably doesn't have any more bones that they can fool with before he can't pitch anymore. But
okay.
I'm very shocked that he's been able to perform the way he has.
Yeah.
And it's sustained. It's not going away. And I hope it doesn't. So that's my, that's my speech on pitching. Getting into hitting. Ronald Acuna Jr.
What is it? The Pequeño
Dinamito, as Dale Murphy would say.
The Pequeño.
I follow all those guys on Twitter, so I get all the, So this is kind of a big deal, and it got overshadowed by last night when I'm going to get to that one in just a second. He hit his 20th home run this week of the season. He's a rookie. hitting 20. Do you know he's 20 years old? How old are you, Javaris? He's a year older than us.
Yeah.
A year. Okay? Makes me feel old. I don't know why.
Right.
I want you to tell me the significance of these names. Are you ready?
Okay.
King Griffey Jr., Alex Rodriguez, John Carlos Stanton, Bryce Harper, Mike Trout, Carlos Correa, Ronald Acuna Jr. What is the significance of those names?
I'm gonna guess it has something to do with their age, but I don't know for certain.
You don't know? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good company. All are either Hall of Famers, future Hall of Famers, or Hall of Fame caliber.
Mhm.
The only one I would, argue with that is Carlos Correa, but he's also a World Series champion. He played. He's young. He played in the World Series last year, and
Right.
he brought the World Series to Houston. Frankly, so the significance of these games, I'm gonna go through them again. King Griffey, A-Rod, Giancarlo, Bryce Harper, Mike Trout, Carlos Correa, and Acuna.
Mhm.
They're all 20 years old. They all hit at least 20 homers. That's pretty good company. Those are the
Yeah.
last. There's been more, but those are the last 7 to do it.
Right.
And you can't argue with that, man. I mean, you talk about just gifted.
Mhm.
Acuna is impressive. And Chipper Jones was interviewed about Acuna at the beginning of the season, and he was asked about Acuna compared to Andrew Jones.
Right.
He said basically that he's not quite up to the speed of Andrew Jones was defensively, but he's not far behind, and I think he might be catching up.
Right.
I'm impressed, and that was also before the 5-game home run streak that Acuna had. So I'd be curious to see what Chipper had to say now.
Right.
So here's the actual rant. Here it is. I just talked about Acuna for probably 3 straight minutes. There's more. There was a lot of talk a few weeks ago about Juan Soto being a shoe-in for the Rookie of the Year. If you don't know who that is, he's a rookie for the Washington Nationals. Great player. He's 19. He's our age. Great player. Big guy. He can hit a ball to the freaking moon, dude. But, I mean, people are talking like it's already chosen.
Mhm.
There's more of the season to go.
Yeah.
And, frankly, the Nationals are, a trash can of a team. And I can't say that it's decided yet. So then Acuna went on this 5-game home run streak where he got 6 home runs in 5 games. And, a lot of those people saying that it was a shoe-in kind of shut their mouths.
Right.
And I'm not saying that it's decided yet. I don't know that Acuna's going to win this. I don't know if Soto's going to win this. I don't know if another rookie's going to win this. It's not decided yet. That's exactly what I'm arguing about. There's just too much baseball left before the postseason. But I do think Ronald Acuna did push a lot of those people back, saying that Soto's a definite Rookie of the Year. He's a heck of a player. Okay, that's the end of that rant. But there is another rant that I got to get into. So I mentioned Dansby Swanson hitting those 2 homers a few minutes ago,
Mhm.
and these last 15 minutes are going to be spent, talking about this, and we're going to get to Little League. I promise, Javaris. I know you want to talk about, Mr. Alfred Delia.
He doesn't even play for us. You don't even know what you're talking about.
We're gonna get there. But we also got to get some local highlights out, and we're
Yeah.
gonna get there. We're gonna get there as well. But a lot of computer warriors are on Facebook, and whatever demographic you may be on, particularly for me, that would be any Braves, MLB, sports, any of those pages. I'm pretty much on every single one of them, and I sort of like to check them during the game to sort of get what the fans are thinking. This is where my rant begins. This is where my frustration begins. So, this rant may take a little longer. The first thing, that can drive me crazy, it seems like on Facebook that if one player, listen to me now, if one player makes one mistake in one inning of one game, do you realize how insignificant that is in the grand scheme of things? It's ridiculous. Listen to this. If they make that one mistake, it's time to trade him. It's time to get rid of him. It's time for him to sit the bench. I don't ever want to see him again. It's over with. So this happened to Dansby Swanson, 2-3 weeks ago, whatever. So, and it continued until the day before he knocked 2 out of the park. And then it was, oh, Dansby's turning up a notch. Dansby, we must have, This is good for us. This is great. Yeah, it's good for us. Give him time. Do you realize this is Dansby Swanson's second full season? You can't sit here and act like he's been doing this for, 10 years. He's not a veteran. You can't expect consistency. You can't, and this happens a lot with young teams. And it's going to continue whether or not I ran about it or not, but I'm going to continue. Was that a giggle? What was that?
No, it wasn't.
This is an ongoing problem in my house, this rant thing about baseball. But to be able to enjoy a Braves game this season, especially with as young as we are, you have to come to the realization that no, they're not the 1927 Yankees. They're not Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig. They're not that. And they're not the Big Red Machine. And you have to just let it go, and you have to trust and let it grow. And until you do, you're not going to enjoy any game until it's over with, and you hope that they win. You're lucky this year if they make a postseason, okay? And if they make a good postseason run. Right now, we're in first place. That's great. This was not predicted to happen this year. They have beat the odds already. You need to stop. You need to let the process grow. And I know this isn't the general managers talking. This is the fans talking, and that's why I have such an issue. You need to be supporting this. You're not an expert. I'm not an expert. But I do understand that general managers are the experts. The managers in the dugout every day with these players are the experts. This goes for any sport. And, Dansby isn't the only one this has happened to on the Braves this year. The guy I just mentioned that hit the 5-game home run streak, let's talk about him for a second. That is Mr. Ronald J. Acuna. I don't know if that's his middle name or not, but we're going to go with that. It sounds good on paper.
I'm about to look this up, and I'm going to tell you if you're wrong. Go ahead.
If I'm right, what are you going to say?
Go ahead. Just do. Wow.
I'm right?
Wow.
I'm right.
Wow.
Try my baseball knowledge one of these days,
Wow.
Javaris. So let me say this. This is the end of my rant. Ronald Acuna was struggling when he got back from his injury a while back. He something with his leg. He just could not get into a fluid motion with it. Time to bench him. Send him back to the minors. Let it go. You know who didn't do that? Bobby Cox. He didn't do that with John Smoltz. He let him grow. What did that do? That produced a Hall of Famer. A Hall of Famer. And probably produced a 95 World Series title, too. So if you don't trust in letting the process grow, we have raised these kids to be Atlanta Braves. This is the only organization they know. You keep telling them stuff like this, and if the general managers do what the fans want them to do, they're going to leave, and they're going to do great things when they go. So, frankly, shut your mouths. Anyway, that's the end of that. But you need to trust in your general managers, your executives, all that good stuff. If Dansby Swanson isn't the best man to have in the batter's box, he won't be there.
Right, and let me hit on real quick what you said about the fans. I really appreciated what you said because I will always stick behind my Falcons and my Bulldogs, even though
You're a blessed man.
Right, and
You're
I
a
know
blessed man.
Guess what? We're already predicted to win the national champion this season
By Javaris Harris.
and we're predicted to win the Super Bowl this season.
By Javaris Harris.
You're gonna know. No, these are actual facts I'm speaking right now, sir.
Look, I'm a Falcons fan too. I'm
Right.
with you.
This is Sports Illustrated and ESPN talking, sir. So I know
All right.
they are the experts.
All right. We got one more game, and I got 10 minutes, and I'm trying to hit this little league.
Yeah, let's go.
So I'm going to let you rant to me in the car on the way home, okay? So the Braves, one more game. This is versus the Marlins last night, and I stayed up and watched it. The Braves won 5-0, and it was actually a really exciting game. Sean Newcomb, if you don't know who that is, you need to learn his name, folks. He pitched 6 scoreless innings. He allowed only 2 hits, okay? They brought in Luke Jackson. He allowed 1 hit in 1 inning, and he also got a strikeout. Jesse Biddle, who's also becoming one of my favorites personally, he pitched 2 innings. He allowed 2 hits, and he got 4 strikeouts. This finished off the Marlins giving Sean Newcomb the win, his 11th of the year. I believe he's 11-6 now. The Marlins, Hernandez was on the mound. He pitched for 3 innings. 3. You had a rookie the other night for the Braves pitch 5. He pitched 3. Don't make no. What are you doing over there? Stop dancing. Anyway, he gave up 3 hits. He only gave up 3 hits in 3 innings. Okay, which doesn't sound that bad, you know. But what if I told you 2 out of the 3 were home runs? Would you believe me?
Probably.
You better. So that made the score 3-0 for the Braves on 3 hits when he exited. Yeah, that's bad. So those 2 home runs, let's get into it real quick. Charlie Culberson, Charlie Clutch. And when I say that, I mean it. He started the offense for the Braves. He hit a 2-run bomb to left field, which was, again, a moonshot. It was like Aaron Judge hit it. It was insane.
Ball was kissing the stars.
Man, it was sizzling.
We're gonna start saying that it was kissing the stars.
You can say that.
No, you're gonna say it too.
So that, of course, made it 2-0. And this may come a shock to you, but Ronald Acuna actually hit a homer that was not in the leadoff spot. Do you believe that? This is like breaking news.
Right.
Nobody's talking about this.
Right.
He that's right though. He hit at the top of the third. He sends it over the fence to get a little revenge from that Jose Urena incident. But guess what, guys? It's nowhere near over with. Jose Urena sat out this series due to that suspension. But can you believe they decided to hit him again? I know you watched it. I know you saw it.
I seen the highlights on ESPN this morning. I was shocked. I was very shocked.
Well, the Braves did retaliate, and guess what? There was no argument from the Marlins dugout.
Right.
Nobody left. Nobody got mad. The batter did not get mad.
Because I think one of the reasons was because the ump gave both of them a warning, as he should have, and I appreciate that. But yeah, no, I absolutely not.
No, let me tell you something. Let me just tell you something. If you're mad enough, it doesn't matter if the ump has got 10 umpires up there blocking your way.
Right.
You're gonna make your way out there.
Most definitely, because they did the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, yeah, that's true, but they knew. Yeah. They knew. And there's a rumor going around. I don't know how true it is. I don't know who did it. But apparently one individual Marlins veteran player went up to Jose Urena post-game after he hit Ronald Acuna and basically said that if you pull that again, the benches may clear, but it'll be one bench, and that will be the Braves bench. The Marlins will not defend you. Wow. Yeah. This is their rivals. They're in the same division. Yeah. This isn't, best of friends team.
This has been since they were the Florida.
Yeah.
Since the Florida Marlins.
So we got 5 minutes, so I'm going to hit this quick. Ender Inciarte also had a 5th inning shot to right field, making it 4-0 Braves. Camargo had an RBI double in the 5th inning, 5-0 Braves, and it stayed that way the entire time. I'm curious to see what happens in the game tonight because there's no telling if somebody's going to get hit. I almost hope they don't. If the Braves are going to I don't think the Braves are in that mindset of retaliation. They got too much to focus on. But, if it happens, it happens. But,
Just know you heard it here first.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
On 88.5.
I'm not going to make
FM
a
Cougar Radio. But, hey, real quick, shout out to Peachtree City, the Little League World Series. They're going to be playing Staten Island, New York, on Sunday at 3:30 on ESPN. Please go check them out. We have been very, very, very appreciative. Not appreciative, but very, very supportive of them and of all they have accomplished in the Little League World Series this year. And we are going to bring this thing on home back to Georgia. So good luck to those guys, and make sure you get that championship and bring it all the way back to the South Side.
You tell them it's been a while since Georgia's made its name known in the Little League World Series, and I can't wait to see if they do it again this year. And we always support our local teams around here.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna send them out Little Ric Flair.
Right.
Woo! But yeah, you guys playing Little League. These are gonna be some of the best memories of your life.
Yeah.
You go out there, you show them what's up, and you bring that title back.
Right. Tyler, real quick. Eagles Browns 5-0.
Talk about it. We're here.
5-0.
Let me hear it.
God awful. That's all I'm gonna say. God awful. 4 turnovers, son. 4 turnovers. Hey, you guys go check out all the NFL games tonight. You have I want to say 5, some starting at 7:30. Go check those out for real. All right. Hey, it's been fun. It's been a blast. We greatly appreciate you guys checking in. This has been our pilot, so we hope to start this more often, and we're going to see you guys for the rest of the semester. And guess what? And the spring semester. And guess what? Hopefully next year. So let's get this journey lit. Let's make it. Come on.
All right, so let's talk about a little bit of what we want to do, because I just realized we actually do have 3.5 more minutes.
Okay, let's get it.
Like we said, this is our pilot episode. We're still learning.
Yeah.
I'm actually also playing the lyrics to this song, which I didn't mean to do, but that's cool. I actually like that version better anyway.
Tyler, is that the clean version?
I hope so.
Tyler, check and make sure that's the clean. That's not the clean version, son. Oh, Jesus, we're gonna get.
We're gonna fade that out real quick. Anyway.
Oh no.
So while I got a minute, You know, look, we're happy to be here, folks.
Right, we are.
We're not gonna
man.
lie, we're not perfect, as you just witnessed. So as I fade that back up, nobody noticed. Nobody noticed. Anyway,
Oh man, I'm so happy to be here, man.
I'm so happy to be here with you. You
Oh,
know, there's
man,
nobody
it's-
else I'd
it's a
rather do this
blast.
with. We've been talking about doing this for forever. It is an honor to be sitting here in WCUG. I'm so thankful for the opportunity. And frankly, I can't wait to see how the rest of this semester goes. And, you know, talking sports every day is not a bad way to live.
It's not.
You know, and as the year goes on, we're going to switch a little bit in sports. Obviously, baseball doesn't last forever, sadly.
Right.
And I emphasize sadly.
Yeah.
But as postseason comes along, we will talk predictions.
Mhm.
Last year, I did predict the entire postseason perfectly, if you believe that. Javaris is a witness.
Unfortunately, I was here. It was the saddest thing I ever had to witness. But guess what? It's the greatest season of all. It's back in action this Saturday. College football, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get it.
And we will be talking about it right here. No drama for your mama. But hey, we're going to talk about it.
Oh, you better not say that in the future.
It's not going to be a consistent
I will
catchphrase.
so leave. It's the first day, and I will so leave you by.
You're going to
by yourself.
leave me?
Yes. I will. I refuse.
Well, if you say something stupid, I'm just going to kick you out. I'm not going to leave because I'm in like.
you can't kick me out.
I'm kind of like catty corner.
You can't kick me out.
I feel like I can.
You can't. Cause
You know, I did wrestle in high school.
but guess what though? You're my ride home.
That's very true.
So guess what? No.
Doesn't that mean I make the rules?
But still, I'll tell your mother.
Okay, you win.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the sad commentary on how we live our lives here. But this is the Rundown in 60, and we will see you later. Thank you very much.